Hello and a very warm welcome to another edition of Channels Beam. I'm Victor Matthias. Now, in recent years, artificial intelligence, or AI, has woven itself into our daily lives in ways we may not even be aware of. It has become so pervasive that many remain unaware of both its impact and our reliance upon it. Developers are taking over the world in this reign of AI by adding more contributions with their out-of-the-box thinking, with new ideas and facilities. Today on the program, we will be looking at the developments in the AI field and the impact it will have in the coming years, of course, starting with the year 2023. But before we do all of that, let's first of all check what is on the trends list before we continue.
It seems the role between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates has gone beyond just the aviation sector, as Nigerians took to their handles to lament the poor treatment being meted out to them in the Middle Eastern country. While recounting how it's difficult to rent an apartment despite a working permit and a job, others complained of immediate jacking up of rent by landlords and even eviction, among many other things they complained about. The North London derby turned awry after the red half of the city emerged victorious, beating the white side by 2-0. Arsenal goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale was seen being attacked by a vicious fan moments after being pushed and shoved by Brazilian opponent Richarlison. Fans have been reacting and calling on the FA to take action against the conduct of the players and supporters.
Well, there you go. Those were the trends in the past week. We have now joining us Temi Tokwe Oshunrinde. He is the VP Marketing at Tezeti. It's a pleasure to have you on the program, Temi Tokwe.
Thank you very much, Victor. Glad to be here.
Indeed. We also have joining us Ibukun Adeni. He's the founder of Hack Academy. Ibukun, it's a pleasure as well to have you on the program today.
Thank you very much for having me again, Victor.
Indeed. Both of them join us via Zoom from Lagos. So Ibukun kicks out this conversation for us. I mean, so much is going on in the world of AI, but what would you say is one of the developments that has caught your fancy at this point in time?
Right now, there's a solution that is, trending all over the internet called ChatGPT. It's an artificial intelligence software that that can generate content, can give you text solutions to a wide variety of problems. So for instance, let's say I'm a lawyer and I want to draft a quick agreement, or I need to I'm a student and I need to submit an assignment on any topic. I could just go to this artificial intelligence software and ask it, a complex question, and it can respond to me, give me a well-detailed answer, whether a business plan, or whether a letter, whether a proposal, an agreement, almost anything on a very, very wide range of topics. And it can give me the response to this like a human, even better than most humans would, in a matter of seconds, so, and that's called ChatGPT. It's very, very exciting to see. There's also similar ones in image generation, when I could just write that, okay, I want a picture of what a child between Buhari and Genevieve would look like, and it would just give me something that would, will be regarded as the most creative, very, very creative, very, very accurate, is mind-boggling. And, so it's very, very exciting to see that AI is at that point already.
Yeah, I mean, so pretty much the examples you cited, I mean, I know that AI pretty much is usually fed by we humans, and of course, so it means I'm just feeling that, it's getting to a point where laziness, especially in schools, would come up, because if I can go to ChatGPT, and ask it to do my assignment for me, I mean, what's not the point?
So for me, I don't, It's not really laziness. The nature of education just has to change. Right now the educational system that we have in the world was designed for the previous technological revolution, where we need a lot of human capacity for the industrial age, where we needed a lot of people to work in factories, to work in offices. Now we have moved away from that form of technology is moving away from the fourth industrial revolution into the fifth industrial revolution, which is the stage of information and technology. So the nature of education that serviced that industrial revolution just has to change. So the educational institutions have to start training people for the new challenges that are at hand, which is going to be mostly focused around creativity and problem solving. So schools have to look at how they are going to be teaching students on how to be testing people, students, and teaching people on creativity and problem solving, because these are still the parts that artificial intelligence cannot really do without the human influence. The human being still has to tell and coach and train the computer that, okay, this is how I want you to solve this problem. You have to, when it gives you a result, to say, okay, can you tweak it this way? Can you tweak it that way? So the human creativity and the human problem solving capacity is still very, very, very important. Do you get? So the educational institution also has to evolve along those lines.
All right, let me bring Temitope into the conversation. Temitope, I still want us to look at the impacts, that AI is going to have on, especially looking at the fact that it's going to make everything easier, but let's look at more impact, in terms of when we fully, adapt all of these technologies. How much of an impact is it going to make?
All right, thank you, Victor.
Sure.
And great example with ChatGPT, which has suddenly taken the world by storm. But to break it up, so GPT is actually generative pre-trained transformer, and it is an AI bot. It leverages in natural language processing that uses deep learning to generate human conversations, as Igotun has mentioned. Real life conversation is almost as if you're talking to a human. But the pre-trained parts, because I said pre-trained, it takes data that's been put in up to about 2021, and then it feeds you based on whatever queries that you provide. And yes, there are opportunities and there are challenges. And I know I've talked a bit about some of the challenges in terms of the destruction of the conventional education model that we practice currently, rote memorization. But there are vast opportunities for ChatGPT. One, virtual assistants. You don't have to write a poem yourself to maybe your loved person. You don't have to compile any travel itinerary anymore. There are a lot of things we'll actually even begin to see, even with the basic AI that we have on our phones. You can instruct Siri to make a call on your behalf. We're going to see a lot more of that. Medication, and I think Ibukwan has also talked about the destruction to the conventional education. It can help us summarize stuff. Long form stuff can suddenly become better. It reduces barriers, or it eliminates mostly barriers to entry for a lot of industries. Now you can get ChatGPT to write you an essay. It can create a content calendar for you. It can even write code for you. Those things that need to be entry-level tasks for fields like marketing, for developers, suddenly has been simplified. So now you can get into tech faster, leveraging ChatGPT. Content creation is easier. And then the relational parts. Some of the essays that have been written off ChatGPT are even better than human essays. So we have that. So there are a lot of opportunities. However, we must also be cognizant of the challenges that come with it. And so far, based on the current model, and I know there was an update that was done recently, so there's a second level, there's a second version of ChatGPT. The responses are not very accurate. So that's a big challenge, especially now that you go online and expect what you see online to be reasonably correct. So there have been inaccurate responses. There was one I saw when
because I was actually going to ask about the accuracy. of all of this?
Yes, so a lot of it. So again, there are some nuances to it. It takes in information that is already available online. And as we see in today's world, some of that information is not accurate. So there is that part. And then another part that is actually also very important is the potential for bias. Because ChatGPT leverages already available data sets online, there are some existing biases, for instance, against minority groups. For instance, gender biases that ChatGPT also reflects in whatever queries it provides for
Yeah.
you.
All right. So, I mean, in all of this, where would humans be? Because pretty much Chat GTP, I mean GPT, Google, Ask Google, and all of those. You have the Firefox and all of these, search engines where you go to. I mean, now with AI, it seems, humans would be swept aside pretty much. I don't know, but if that's the case, I mean, how do we go about this?
So I think that it's not a death knell for humans. There will be complementarities. There are some low-hanging tasks that will be farmed out to ChatGPT and other AI tools, and they can do the basic work. And that will leave humans the role, that will give humans the capacity to problem solve. There are some things that no matter how well advanced and developed they are, they can't think. So we still have to do the thinking. We still have to do a lot of the analysis, how to make technology better, how to make it more inclusive, how to make it more humane. And we have to do that thinking. So it's going to natural. Humans now have to do a lot more problem solving, a lot more analysis, while we farm out less complex tasks to AI and other models and tools like that.
All right, let me bring back Ibukun again. Ibukun, so are we going to be seeing, moving forward now, are we going to be seeing, what's it called, a competition between, the existing or the pre-existing, search engines, now let me put it that way, and what we have now, or what you have said is trending at this moment? Are we going to be seeing a competition between these solutions?
So, in the real sense of things, right, there can't really be any competition. This technology that is coming is game changing. Like it's just
So it's coming to take
everybody
over. Are you saying it's coming to take over?
It's coming to take over. There's no competition. But what is going to bring, what is coming along with it is we're moving into an age of abundance. We're moving into a time where even the woman outside your house is going to have access to a lawyer, because becoming a lawyer is going to become so easy, right? Because the entry level tasks that make some sort of job, some sort of things difficult and inaccessible are going to be gone. A lawyer is going to be able to draft 100 agreements a day or 200 agreements a day. So obviously the market is going to grow. So we're moving into an age of abundance. It's something that we should be excited about companies like Google and the threats that it brings to companies that are still doing conventional technology systems. The truth is that all of them have a version of this already in their office that they've not released, right? Everybody is on it. Everybody has been on it for the past 10 years, right? So these ones that are even coming out, I can assure you that for us to be seeing what we are seeing today is just, we've not seen anything. It's just a tip of the iceberg for what they have already inside in their offices. Right now, the challenge for most of them is just to even figure out how to come out with the products, how to come out, how to monetize it, how to bring out the product, and how to manage, the effects. So they're just giving us a little of a taste of it to see how people are going to react, so they can know how to manage any economical change, and so that there's no surprises, and how to make sure that they monetize it effectively. And so it's just a gradual process. Every company, ChatGPT was, I know they had an early investment of $1 billion from Microsoft, so they are heavily backed by Microsoft. I know Elon Musk is also on their board. And recently I heard that they've even stepped up to even make it, I think, $10 billion. I know Google has theirs, their own AI program. Facebook has their own AI program. So many, all these top companies all have one or multiple AI programs. So,
Yeah.
it's just, there's going to be so much and so much abundance.
So, looking forward now, Gibokun, you were just talking about how everyone has his own, AI thing coming up. It just seems that, in the coming years, it's going to be on the fingertips of everybody. But I'm just thinking, server issues, cloud issues. I mean, how are we going to be moving in that regard? Because you need a lot of server space or even cloud space, to house everything. How would that play out?
So me personally, I'm a product owner, right? So what I do essentially is, as a consultant, I work with different companies to tell them how to put some of these technologies into products that users will like, and they'll be able to make money. What I guess that would happen from this AI technology, because the most challenging problem when it comes to servers is it is very, very expensive to run. It's estimated that ChatGPT spends about $3 million a day for a program that is mostly free, right? $3 million on processing power alone daily to be able to run this software for people to be able to use and enjoy and even have an idea of how it works. I use ChatGPT almost every day, right? So what I estimate that will happen is there's going to be some form of decentralized structure where they will be selling, where every individual will have to have their own personal AI, your own, how everybody has their own Siri. So you buy your phone and Siri is inside, right? So it's only when Siri wants to, maybe needs to access the internet, that, it needs internet connection to get data so that it can be able to respond to you. But a lot of the functions or a lot of the processing power of Siri is done on your mobile. So there's going to be some form of hardware that will be sold to sort of like drive down the cost, and also to give a personalized experience, just as Temitope said, there's biases. So you can't have one centralized AI that will just give one opinion reference. So you have to have different AIs that would learn your own biases and be able to give you answers according to what the kind of person you are, the kind of your culture, so it will learn you and effectively give you responses that suits you. So I believe that it's going to come to a form of decentralized, personalized, sort of, anyone that has seen Iron Man will know of what they call Jarvis. Tony Stark will talk to Jarvis, his own personal AI, and Jarvis will respond. So maybe you can even customize how you want it to sound, the voice. You can make it sound like yourself, make it sound like somebody that you're close to.
Yeah, Temitope,
I'd like to quickly.
Okay,
go on, please.
No, go on. You said you wanted to quickly chip in?
Yeah, on that quickly chip in. So yes, there's the model that Igotron has painted, where everybody will have individual AI, personal, individualized AI. I also think the cloud will play a major role in this. So we have Netflix, and we've seen how Netflix has sort of dominated the streaming industry. But what makes it very effective is that they have all the packets, all the movies that we watch, they are distributed, as Ibrahim said, and then they actually have local data centers, egg data centers. So they have been able to create what is called a content distribution network, where Netflix in Nigeria pulls titles that are more prevalent in Nigeria, and then offers that at a faster, minimal latency, at a faster level. So I believe that will also cloud will play a major role in pushing ChatGPT and others to the edge. More people can now just access, rather than just maybe buying their own AI component or their own AI models. They can actually just subscribe to a shared to the cloud ChatGPT. It could be as easy as being on an app on your mobile phone, and when you sign in, it just gives you access to all the models, to ChatGPT for your zone. Again, it will be maybe it will be tailored to what is happening in, for instance, Nigeria. And I think that's actually what is going to most likely happen. We already have extensive cloud infrastructure, locally and internationally, to make this happen.
All right. So before I let you guys go, I mean, since it's good that you're drawing it down to Nigeria, what specifics would Nigeria be enjoying, pretty much, by adopting AI fully? Talk about, you can go first, and then we'll go on.
Okay. So we are fourth industrial revolution. We're seeing technology is growing quickly, is riding quickly across the world. We have 5G across the world. We are hearing of 6G in China. We have 5G in Nigeria, brought by MTN and now Airtel. So the world is marching relentlessly toward the digital economy. And Nigeria is part of that world. Whatever is happening in other climes, we must also pay attention and, where applicable, also begin to shape that new world. And I think ChatGPT is just one of those things that we must also take advantage of, because of some of the impact of said, impact to democratizing access, impact to reducing barriers to entry across industries, whether you're in marketing or you are in developing or in technology or whatever. Healthcare will suddenly become more accessible. Now we can do better. E-health has not really taken up as much as we wanted it to. E-health will become better thanks to AI and all the others. So with technology like this, we can certainly expand inclusion, widen digital access, and bring more people online who were previously disenfranchised. That's my take on how it will affect and impact Nigeria.
Ibukun, in a sentence, what's your take on that? How would Nigeria benefit from this? In a sentence, quickly.
What I would love to see with Nigeria is that Nigeria takes more risks. We make bold decisions, sort of like how the Dubai government made decisions to take some risks and make some investments. I'd like us to take advantage and let some of these technologies be at the forefront, because the old industrial revolution, we failed. We don't really have so much of these older technologies in Nigeria. So why don't we just take a risk and just say, you know what, instead of going back 50 years and building the 50-year-old infrastructure so that we can be able to have the technology of the last industrial revolution, why don't we just centralize our efforts into meeting the world in the next one, right? And by the time we put our resources into that, we'll be able to become a leader, because we don't have the barrier of jumping over old technologies. So it's very exciting to see that, we can just leapfrog, skip so many old technologies and just meet the world at the latest one.
I can't wait for all of that to happen, but I have to say thank you to both of you, for joining us today and sharing your thoughts. Ibukun Adeni, founder Hack Academy, as well as Temitope Oshunrinde, VP Marketing at Tizeti. Thanks again, guys, for joining us today on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Indeed. Well, that's where we are, and that's where we'll wrap up the program today. Thank you so very much for watching. I'm Victor Matthias, and would leave you with the most viewed videos on our YouTube channel in the past week.
President Mohamed Buhari.
This week's top 5 videos begins with the CUPP spokesman calling for the release of IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu.
In the interest of fairness, in the interest of equity, and in the interest of reconciliation, that the president should release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from DSS illegal detention.
Our dad of blessed memory passed away.
In the fourth is vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Baba Ahmed, being emotional over attacks on his family during a town hall meeting organized by Channels Television.
It doesn't happen anywhere in the world. You don't insult people's parents or their families. It doesn't happen. It's a huge price for anyone to pay.
I need something from you too.
In third is River State Governor Nyesom Wike asking a traditional ruler to sheath his sword as he too can draw one out.
But you have to start the voting revolution in this country. Do you understand me? The revolution by making sure all those that hate Rivers State, that we will not vote for them. You have to start it. So don't just say you want this, you want this. I will give you, you too, you will give us.
Professor Patutom is saying Nigeria needs a stingy man like Peter Obi to run its affairs, take second sports.
So we need to start producing and exporting.
While topping the charts this week is presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, mulling over the privatization of Nigerian ports during the town hall meeting organized by Channels Television.
You are the only OPEC country, apart from Venezuela, that could not meet your quota because people in government are stealing the oil.